I'm Nick Thompson. I'm the new CEO of the Centre for Public Impact. We are a global not-for-profit organisation working to reimagine government so it works for everyone. Yeah, I've done three things today, all of which in different ways have led me to CPI. My first career was in the UK government here in London, and I also worked in Brussels in the European Union. My second career was helping to set up and then run what was the Tony Blair Africa Governance Initiative, and we then became the Tony Blair Institute, as it is now. And then for the last couple of years, I've been working as a leadership coach and strategy consultant. And they've all led in different ways to CPI. First working for government, then advising government, but also building an organisation, which is relevant to where CPI is today. And then working as a leadership coach, but in particular a systems coach and relationship systems coach. And hence the three experiences have built on each other and bring me to CPI today. Yeah, CPI has a really big, ambitious mission to reimagine government so it works for all. For a small, young organisation, it is a big, audacious mission, but it's extremely important. Our approach is to bring a systemic lens to issues, to be relational, meaning human-centred in the way in which we approach policy issues, and to help the governments and the teams that we work with to bring a learning approach, the way in which they are designing services and policy issues. This has always been important for governments because the nature of government is inherently complex and messy and people-centred. But it's particularly important now, I think, when you think about the issues that are impacting governments across the world. When you look at climate change, which is inherently systemic, it impacts on a range of policy areas and across traditional organisational boundaries. When you look at the emergence of AI, which is not just reforming but revolutionising the way that governments work and the way that services are delivered. And bring a more political lens when you look at what you might call a trust deficit in what governments are able to do for people. For all of these reasons, having a systemic, human-centred, learning approach to the way in which policy issues are delivered is now, in my view, even more important than ever. Well, maybe I'm biased, but I think we're in a really exciting phase. By that I mean we are 10 years old as an organisation. We have really strong foundations. We have a track record of success. We have strong partners. And as I've learned in my first month, we have a really great team, fantastic people spread all over the world. So we have a kind of solid base that we have built, but also from that base we can have real ambition for the future. And there are real and new challenges that are shaping and reshaping governments, and our job as CPI is to lean into those challenges and help governments to work through them. So it's a really exciting next phase as we build the next 10 years of the organisation in a future-orientated way, helping governments to address the challenges of today, not just those of yesterday. And those are climate change, the emergence of AI and what that means for government services, and the trust deficit, the kind of challenge of political legitimacy that governments all over the world are facing. These are big and new challenges that are shaping and reshaping the way governments work, and mean that CPI's next phase, if you like, needs to be underpinned by thoughtful ambition as to what we can do and how we can grow to help governments meet those challenges. Yeah, well, firstly, I think CPI already has some really strong partners, and I'm really looking forward to meeting those in the weeks and months ahead. And secondly, I would say that in the business of delivering government services and reaching citizens, then partnerships and collaboration are essential. Government delivery is inherently complex, and therefore it needs a range of actors working with governments to ensure services reach people as the end users. So collaboration is essential for me. I think good partnerships, in my experience, have always been based on three things, which is trust, reciprocity, and shared ambition. You're bringing different approaches, you're bringing different skill sets to a particular problem, but you share the ambition of where you're trying to get to. And as the range of issues that are facing government today, climate change, AI, legitimacy, then the need to work together is ever more important. And that's why I think partnerships will form a key part of CPI strategy in the future. I'm not very good at listening to podcasts, but that is something I want to change. The book that I'm reading at the moment is the third of the Hilary Mantel trilogy. Wolf Hall, I think The Mirror and the Light is the one I'm reading at the moment, about Henry VIII and England in that period of the Reformation. And I'm finding them absolutely fascinating, I have to say, partly because of her writing is astonishing, her ability to recreate history is astonishing, but also as someone who has spent his career working in government and organisations, I'm finding it fascinating in the way in which it explores issues of leadership and politics and power in England all those centuries ago, but you see the echoes of some of the similar issues in politics today. They're an amazing read. The two things that I've always wanted to do, or always thought about doing, but I candidly don't think I have the skill set for, are either being a teacher, which I think is an amazing career, but I don't really have the patience, or being a journalist, which I was fascinated by and wanted to be when I was a teenager.